the rematch. So the context behind this rematch is important. Vicente Luque, number 4 in the welterweight division, is the only man to knock out Belal Muhammad in Belal Muhammad's storied career, in his very illustrious career, right? So the way he did it was pretty phenomenal too. If you rewatch the fight, which was quick, it was like a minute or two, right? They're going about it, right? Vicente Luque is doing what he does. He's controlling the center of the cage. He's walking Belal Muhammad down, not letting Belal Muhammad use that wrestling intensive style that he has. They just get into a quick little exchange, and Vicente Luque drops him with a jab and calls it a day, man. And that was basically it. But the way that Belal Muhammad kind of fell back from the jab was very cartoon character-ish, which goes to show that it was even that much more impressive of a knockout. However, that knockout has aged very well for Vicente Luque, but that loss has also aged very well for Belal Muhammad. So nobody is in the wrong here. Nobody is really too disparaged here. But Belal Muhammad, he has a lot to prove, ego-wise, right? As a man's pride, sometimes it gets in our way. How much of that do you think is going to play a factor in this rematch? Because I think Belal Muhammad is a very intelligent fighter, and I don't think he's going to be factored by that too much, but I do think it will sway a little bit the outcome of the fight. What do you think?
I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be on the forefront of his mind, but he's definitely going to have that in his back pocket where he's thinking, oh, I'm getting one back. I mean, as a man, you don't let that go. Like, it's one of those things where, even in, 6th grade, you think that one dude, all right, he got one on me. I'm still, next time I see him, we're going to get it back. And I think this is a good analogy for this, because that was 6 years ago. He got the knockout 6 years ago, but like you said, Derek, it's aged very, very well. Both fighters have gone on some serious meteoric rise, and they're both at the top of the division, so now they get to do it again. I don't necessarily think Belal Muhammad's going to fester on the fact of that first-round knockout, but he's going to think about it more as, I got caught, time to get the next one, where I think that's going to make it more of a fun fight. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Belal Muhammad is going to need to be very strategic to win this fight, though. So this is my main question to you. Belal Muhammad's recent success on his 6-fight win streak has seen him walk forward, cut off the cage, use technical striking to set up his grappling, and then basically rely on the grappling to get the job done if he can't knock you out or if he can't get close to hurting you, right? When he was fighting Lyman Good, I think that he hurt Lyman Good a couple times on the feet in those exchanges. Same thing for Diego Lima. But then when he had the Leon Edwards fight, right, Edwards was kind of starting to run away, even though it was very early, and that's the one argument. We never know how that fight would have played out, but it looked like Leon Edwards had the early advantage against Damian Maia. Well, that was a good back-and-forth fight, but, Belal Muhammad basically just nullified Maia's grappling approach. Lastly, Stephen Thompson didn't need to box him up too much. Get him to the ground, get him on his butt, that's it. Can he do that against Vicente Luque, whose style is walk forward and smash? Now, he's not Dagestani Russian smash style. It's his own unique Brazilian version of it. But I think that there's a little bit of a hole that can be, how would you say, exploited, right? When he fought Michael Chiesa last, Chiesa took him down with relative ease. My thing is, can Belal Muhammad do that? And if he does, can he hold him there? Because Vicente Luque was able to get up. So what do you think?
Yeah, he was able to get up, and I think after the Chiesa fight, you kind of learn like, oh, okay, this. He was able to see these holes, shoot in real quick, get taken down, but I was able to stand up. So I think Vicente Luque, especially how good of a fighter he is now, he's going to learn from that. I'm not expecting too many takedowns, man. That's wrong. I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting takedowns. Yeah. I'm not expecting takedowns right away. I think it's going to come a little bit later on in the fight, going to get a little tired, and then the legs start getting a little heavy, and then Belal's kind of starting to black. I think the longer this fight goes, the more it favors Belal. The shorter, the more intermediate, that's where I think Luque is going to find a lot of success. Because I think Luque has a little bit better of hands. Belal Muhammad's a little bit better in certain instances, but that's all debatable too, because Belal has really nice hands as well, man. What do you think?
That's where I'm going to kind of push back on you right here, brother, because I don't see it the same way. I think that Vicente Luque has a massive advantage in the striking, and I think it's because so here's how I see it. I think Belal Muhammad is more technical. I think he's got the speed advantage, but I think Luque has the massive power advantage, and he's willing to eat one to give one. And that's the thing that Belal Muhammad doesn't do too often. So I think that when it comes down to it and they get into these exchanges, Vicente Luque, eat the jab, throw the big right hand over the top, drop you with the jab, whatever the case may be, throw the head kick, throw the spinning kick. He switches stances a million times. He's just cutting off the cage back and forth. He'll have you circle out to your left. He'll throw that right high kick up top, or he'll He'll kick you down to the legs and chop your legs out. Like, either way, man, if you look at him, he's a devastating finishes. 19 of his 21 victories are via finish, brother. He's got 11 knockouts and 8 submissions. So that's the thing about it, is that even when he hurts you, he might get himself into a position like he did against Tyron Woodley, man, where he got hurt and then he hurt Woodley, and then it was this random scramble. Next thing you know, dude's getting choked out. Or even against Michael Chiesa, because the one piece of context that I left out is that, yeah, he got taken down and he got up, and then he got taken down again, and then he got his back taken, and then he almost got finished, and then he somehow reversed it to then finish Michael Chiesa. So Vicente Luque is one of those exciting fighters who are willing to risk it all, who are willing to put themselves out there. And I think Belal Muhammad, given that 15 of his 20 wins are via decision, isn't as willing to take the risks as Vicente Luque is. So is that what's gonna be the determining factor on who's gonna win the fight? Who's willing to take the risk more or not? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, as well as who's willing to live a little bit more in the fire to get the reward. You know what I'm saying? And we said it already. Luque is a little more accustomed to that, but I think with the way Belal Muhammad's career is going, it's the time to start kind of getting in that. I don't know if he has a chin. I don't know if he has like the determination of being able to weather those kind of storms, because Vicente Luque lives in the fire, man. And I agree with you. I think the longer the fight goes, Belal Muhammad has that decision-oriented style where he has cardio for days, man. He can take you down. He can keep doing it over and over and over again. But with the style that Luque has, he can turn an easy takedown. Next thing you know, he's on top of you. Like in the Chiesa scrambles, man, we saw it. There's a lot going on, and Luque is not calm in the fire, but predictable in the fire. If that makes sense. Like he's not patient, but he is doing the correct moves, seeing the correct timing, noticing things in order to get things done. It's going to be interesting, but I definitely think. If we see a knockout, it's coming from Luque. If we see a finish, it's coming from Luque. If we see a decision, it's going to be more Belal.
And with that being said, brother, let's talk a couple prop bets right here. So one line that I see value in terms of a prop for Belal Muhammad is Muhammad to win on points. I think that's the way he wins personally. I have a hard time seeing him knocking out Luque. Have a hard time seeing him submit Luque, who Luque has never been knocked out. He has been submitted a couple times, so I guess that would be his possibility right there. But Muhammad by points, he's currently a plus 155 underdog in terms of the money line, plus 225 for Belal to win on points. I like that right there, bro, because I think it could happen if he was able to outpace Luque over 5 rounds. If maybe Luque goes all out and isn't able to put Belal Muhammad away in the first 3, maybe it does tilt full Belal, you know what I mean, because of his incredible cardio, because of his pace, all that stuff, right? So what do you think about that plus 225 line right there? Because there's a more lucrative line on Luque, but in the chances of an upset being pulled right here, what do you think about that prop bet?
I like the prop bet. I mean, if there is going to be an upset coming from the plus 155, and then you get that plus 2, whatever it was on the decision, that's the style of Muhammad, man. Because Luke is going to be very explosive, but once Muhammad kind of starts getting in his groove, he can also be the one that's putting the pace on. So I think there's some value right there.
Okay, I got you, brother. I got you. And then when we're looking at the last prop for Luque, for him to win by knockout is plus 240, and by submission is plus 350. So what do you think if you had to choose between submission or a knockout? His last 2 wins are via submission, but he also has 2 knockout wins before that. So what do you think?
I lean instantly in my head a little bit more submission, just because I feel like that's Luque's style.
Sure.
But at the same point, man, this dude's been cracking people left and right lately.
Yeah.
So I think the knockout. I'm going with the knockout. I think it's a little more kind of in the momentum. What about you?
I'm going knockout too, especially because Belal Muhammad's never been submitted in his career. So I think that, listen, man, we're going to put some respect on Belal Muhammad's name, man. He's no easy outing by any stretch of the imagination. I just think Vicente Luque is that good. Once again, there's not too much hype on him. Why? He's the silent assassin. He doesn't talk. Like, he has to prove himself time and time and time again. But I'm leaning towards Vicente Luque here. I do want to just note that Luque only has 2 losses in the last 7 years. 1 to Leon Edwards and 1 to Stephen Thompson. For Belal Muhammad, his last loss was in 2019. That was against Jeff Neal via decision. Luque is the only man to finish him. But for Belal Muhammad, 9 of his last 10 wins are via decision, brother. So that's what I'm saying. He knows how to get it done. For Luque, 9 of his last 10 wins are via finish. 3 submissions, 6 knockouts. This should be a fun one. So let's talk about it. The over and under on this one, brother. 4.5 rounds. Who do you like, Vicente Luque or Belal Muhammad?
Ooh, they really think this one's going to decision, man. I'm going Luque. I really don't. And don't get me wrong, Muhammad has a very good shot of winning this fight, especially once he starts kind of determining the pace and the pressure. He has that cardio to get things done, but I'm going Luque. I'm going KO round 4. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be an early round 4 knockout, but it's going to be close, man, because I do think this one will go a lot longer than we're expecting. What are you going with and why?
All right, brother. I'm rocking with Vicente Luque here, and I am going by some form of TKO in rounds 3, late round 3, or early round 4. That is my prediction. I'm hoping that I'm wrong because Belal Muhammad is one of my favorite fighters, so this kind of sucks. You know, I got the Belal Muhammad climbing up the rankings T-shirt, the whole 9. But the Silent Assassin is not one to be reckoned with, brother. So, yeah, we're rocking Vicente Luque on that one. That is your main event, folks.